Hi, welcome back to part 3 of the Wonder of Space Stationing. My name is Rob Boss, and you might have noticed that our space station looks a little bit lonesome all by itself out at the moon, so today we're going to make some friends for him.
Our build today will actually be two separate modules, the Cygnus resupply spacecraft and an Orion multi-purpose crew vehicle, seen here with the Delta cryogenic upper stage attached. Both of these craft will be periodically launched to transport astronauts and supplies out to the Lunar Gateway, where they'll stay for anywhere from 1 to 3 months on a mission. So without further ado, let's take a look at the supplies and tools you'll need to make these guys at home. We're going to start out today by taking a soda can that we've covered in duct tape and painted just like we did with our habitation module last time. Then I'm going to start taking strips of electrical tape and I'm going to place them at regular intervals along the length of it. There we go. Then I'm going to take some additional strips and wrap it around just to break it up into different sections. So I'm going to have 4 strips going lengthways and 5 strips running around the side of it. There we go. And looks like I missed a spot. No big deal, we'll cover that up. And here we have a bottle top, a bottle cap, a toilet paper tube with a bit of cardboard at the bottom, and of course our soda can. So I'm going to take my bottle cap, put some hot glue on it, and press it to the bottom of our can. There we go. Then on the top, we're going to take the toilet paper tube, put a spritz of hot glue around the top, and then lay it down. And last but not least, we'll take our bottle top, get some super glue, and press it down on top of our toilet paper roll. With a little spritz on the outside to hold it in place. Now, I think we're going to paint this guy, just to give a little bit extra color. So, I'm going to paint the inside of our docking port a nice little black. There we go. And then we'll take some gray, and we'll color along the outside there. And I could use some tin foil for this if I wanted to, but it's, I don't know, like I said, let's do something a little bit different this week, just to mix it up a bit. There we go. And then we'll let that dry. There we are. Now we're going to add some solar panels to our resupply craft. So there's going to be 2 cardboard strips, 1.5 inches by 4 inches, and 2 aluminum sheets by 4.5 inches by 4 inches. So I'm going to take one of my cardboard rectangles and just wrap it up inside my tin foil. Take a little pack of gum there. Get some hot glue. Press it down, make sure it's not going anywhere. And then we're going to take some strips of electrical tape, and we're going to cover up the top and bottom there. Then we'll add in 3 more strips at regular intervals along the interior. Then we'll take our ruler and our butter knife, and we're going to lay out a little grid pattern like we did with the solar panels of our PPE. Now we're going to measure out our solar panels with our main module, and we should have a metal rod that'll measure out to about 11 inches. So we're going to poke a hole on both sides of our module, and then we're going to run our rod through, like so. There we are. Then take each of your solar panels and put them into place. Ta-da! And if your solar panels are sliding around, well, you can just take a little dab of hot glue, put it on the rod, and then you can slide the solar panels over it to help hold it in place. From there, we can start working on our Orion crew capsule. So I've just taken a little miniature water bottle like so. You can use a regular one about, this size if you'd like. It doesn't really matter. All we really want is just the top part and the bottom part of our bottle. So we're going to take our cardboard cutter and we're going to slice out the middle bits. So just slice along the top line here. Pop it off. And then slice off the bottom. Just so we get rid of the middle bit. Once that's done, we can take our two ends, place them together like so. Then I'm going to take a strip of electrical tape and attach them together, as seen here. There we go. Make sure it's nice and flat in there. Don't want to have any wrinkles on your craft. Next up, we're going to take two rods. They're about 7 inches. But first thing I want to do is add a little cockpit area to my craft. So I'm just taking little pieces of electrical tape that I cut out, and I'm just arranging them where I think the cockpit area would be. And again, you can lay this out however you like to. So now, we're going to cut holes at 4 corners of our craft. And I'm just doing this with a little push pin. And then we're going to run each of our rods through, going diagonally through it. And this will be the basis for our solar panels to stay in place. There we go. Last but not least, I'm going to take a cap. That'll be our engine, and I'm simply going to hot glue it to the back side there. There we are. Now it's time for us to give our capsule a little coat of paint. So I've just taken some white paint, a little dab there, and I'm simply going to start painting the tops and the bottom of my capsule. I'm working around my tape bits, just to get it as covered as we can. And again, you may need to be able to do this in a couple of coats, because it'll try to smear or wear off. So just get as much as you can in one go, let it sit, and then you can come back later and do a second part. This may take a little bit, so tell you what, let me tell you a little story about something that happened to me just the other day. I was out walking in the forest the other day, just taking in the wildlife as one does, when, wouldn't you know it, I came across just the most amazing sight. Yes, sirree, Bob. Came across a family of wild space shuttles just hanging out. So of course I had to go over there and say hi. And they were just absolutely just most gentle, wonderful creatures. There's a little mama shuttle and their little baby there. Mom was nice enough to let me pick up the baby and say hi. These creatures are just absolutely magnificent. Little guy was hungry too, so I gave him a little snack I like to snack on, and he must have been very hungry because he ate that right up. You don't see too many of these guys out in the wild anymore, so it was absolutely magical to come across these guys, and who knows, keep an eye out whenever you go walking, you might see one too. And I know they're not for everybody, but they always put a smile on my face. Oh, there we go. Looks like we're just about finished with our paint job there. So we'll go and let that dry. And let's go get started on our solar panels. So we're going to have some tinfoil sheets by 2.5 inches long, by 3 inches tall, and then 4 rectangles, 2.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch. And then we're going to take each one of our cardboard rectangles and wrap it up in our tin foil, just like we're making a stick of gum. Take some super glue, press it down, pop down the tops there, and we're going to take our ruler and our butter knife and make our same gridded pattern that we did before. We're going to do that on each side for all 4 of them. Once we have that done, we can attach everything to our main capsule. So there we go. Just slip them right on, one by one. And again, these guys have a tendency to kind of slide around. So what you do is you take some hot glue, put on the rod, and then you slide down each solar panel over it, so it stays in place. It won't do much in the way of rotating, but it'll still make a pretty good display model. There we go. Alright. Now, the last thing I want to do today is take 4 of my straw pieces that are 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to attach them to the back. So we have our main engine for our capsule. These are going to be our little secondary directional thrusters, little fine-tune maneuvers. So I'm going to add these to all 4 of the corners here. So I'm going to take my super glue, put a little dab on the end of each one, and then I'm going to press it down very gently on each of our 4 corners here. There we go. And we're done. There we go. So just let that dry for a bit. But that's our capsule. So here we have our resupply capsule and our transport capsule, all ready to go and be added onto the station. Oh, didn't they just come out great? Absolutely amazing. I love this. Oh, look, they're friends. Mwah. Alright, you guys, off you go. You got a rendezvous to make.
And there we go. Just like that, we have ourselves a beautiful little space station that can be hung up and displayed, or maybe you'd like to give it to a friend or family member. And don't think that this is the end of our space station. I mean, this is your station after all, so if you want to add some more modules to it, think about what you'd like to see and what common household objects you can do to make that a reality. So, till next we meet, whenever that may be, take care, keep building, my friends.